Hello, sorry for the longer wait there. Who we got here? Yo, are we gonna buy a backup goalkeeper? A goalkeeper and a right back, not backup. Honest truth, Fred Camp. I don't know. I really can't put my finger on it. I would like us to, I would really like us to, but I think goalkeeper right now seems a little bit more likely, but I can't really put a stamp on it right now, I'm afraid. But let's go right into it and speak about this new huge record-breaking deal that we have signed with Puma, our current kit makers and our kit makers for the next 10 years. Man City's kit deal extension with Puma could eventually be worth £1 billion, with the agreement now running to at least 2034 to 35, and valued at £100 million a season, making it the highest in Premier League history. Lucas Chevalier would be wonderful. He seems to be like the ideal target amongst the community, but I've had like little to no links to him, very vague links too. But look, when it comes to this deal, it's huge, isn't it? It's absolutely huge. We're now going to be pulling in £100 million a season just from Puma. That's only going to help when it comes to transfer windows. 100 mil a season. Just think about it. That's essentially the 3 players we signed, all done, all wrapped up, just from that money alone. Let's go down to here. I'm gonna try and see if there's any more news on this huge deal. Here we go. Ferran Soriano on the $1 billion Puma deal. We joined forces with the ambition to challenge ourselves to go above and beyond expectations. We've achieved this and more over the last 6 seasons. Puma have seamlessly integrated into our organisation, and we've enjoyed many historic moments together, engaging fans globally. Today's renewal and extension solidifies our relationships and products to an even brighter future. That's what our main guy in terms of the money had to say. There you go. That was like the initial review that had happened. We should use that money to strengthen our squad, because I'm getting scared for next season. Arsenal, Liverpool getting Isaac, and Arsenal getting Gyökeres. Yeah. Look, I've been saying on Blue Friday show, it's not exactly a hot take or anything like that. It's quite cold, actually. I think all City fans know this. We need to get moving. I don't know why we're not moving. We need to start actually making moves this window. Liverpool only getting stronger. Arsenal, questionable move on Madueke, sure, but Gyökeres is a good signing one way or the other. They are only getting better, and we are better last season, but we're not anywhere near like our unmatchable treble level. Okay, and getting to the treble level it's an ask in itself. It's a tough bargain. But that's the bar. That's the ceiling that we set all that time ago. And right now, I don't even feel like we're 3/4 of the way there. There's so much work to be done at City, and we really need to start by fixing this squad. Let go of the people that need to be let go. We can't be sentimental on it. Don't get me wrong. Some players have had brilliant spells at this club. Some players you could probably argue it'd be a bit harsh for them to go, but we have to move like a top club. To stay at the top, you've got to move like you are the guy at the top. And I don't feel like we have over the last 2 seasons overall, including this one. I don't think we have moved like a top club. I feel like we've moved like a solid club that knows what they're doing, but not like a top club. It's last summer, what a sham! Only brought in Savino and Gundo. We need a goalkeeper and right back, in my opinion. That should be the minimum for me, because we got to account for exits as well. But yeah, that should be the minimum for me. We've got to try and get Chevalier. No one's gotten him yet. He's not going to be cheap, but just get him in. It's not my money, so I really don't care how much we have to spend on him. Those are our two positions now. We need to get players in there, especially the right back, man. Like, right back is such an obvious one, and there is no talk. To a goalkeeper, we have two keepers. I know neither of them are quite top scratch, but we have two goalies. We don't actually have an out-and-out right back. We don't have a Tino Livramento or Kyle Walker. Nunes is a midfielder turned right back, and Rico's a right back that's better in midfield. We need an out-and-out right back, a right back that excels at right back. Doesn't excel going forward. Well, not necessarily going forward. I don't mind a right back that pushes up a bit, but doesn't necessarily excel playing in the DM, playing at centre back, playing in the midfield. No doubt they'll dip into there a little bit, but I want a right back like Livramento, like Kyle Walker, you name it, I want it. Because I just think that's what we need to do. I think it's a huge step in the right direction if we do that. Of course, we need to let bodies go, but we need to be bringing in players. Kolo Touré, if you don't know, also got added to the squad. He is now a part, well, not to the squad. He's now permanently a part of the first team backroom staff, since he have officially announced. Here's Hugo Viana on it. We're delighted to permanently add Kolo to our first team coaching staff. Not only does he bring immensely precious experience at the football's elite level, but also has a deep connection with Man City and deep knowledge of the club. We've also been hugely impressed with his work and success with our under-18s, and by adding him to the senior staff permanently, this will only strengthen the transition of players from the academy to the first team. As we already saw throughout his time with Pep Guardiola, Pep Linders and James French this summer, his massive personality of optimism and positivity is hugely infectious, and we are looking forward to his work moving forward. Kolo Touré, for me, he looks like a really nice guy, if you ask me. Like, I actually think Kolo Touré looks really nice. I think he looks funny. I think he looks like a nice guy to get on with. So I don't really blame. I don't really blame the players for getting being happy with him around. Like I said, the infectious optimism. I don't really blame the players for feeling that way. And not just players, Pep Linders and everyone else, I don't really blame them. And I think it's a good point with the academy. Having a face that when they go up into the first team, having a face that they know, having a face they can talk to. No doubt that probably gets into some academy players' heads. Not all of them, but probably some. It's like, bit of a shock. You're suddenly around all these faces you're unfamiliar with. Not just faces, huge faces. Erling Haaland, the biggest striker in the world right now in terms of knowing him. Phil Foden, the star boy of the academy. And other players too. I don't know why we're so quiet in this transfer window. It's like Vienna and the board aren't realising we can't compete with Chelsea, Arsenal and Liverpool next season. Yeah, it's a good point, Red Camp. Again, I wish I knew as well. I really want to know what's going on in that boardroom, man, because we're getting nothing right now. I mainly did the stream today just because I wanted to get something out there, but we are getting naffle right now. Absolutely nothing. Oh, KDB. on his way to Napoli. He looks happy. Hopefully he has an absolutely brilliant time there, fulfilling his days in the Serie A now. I hope he absolutely balls out. Yeah, I think he will, man. I think the Serie A will become his oyster. I think he's going to ball out at the Serie A. As long as he doesn't pick up injuries and whatnot, I think he's going to be great. But again, slightly more on topic, we need to bring in players. The board's got to move. Yeah, I'm really hoping that news just breaks soon, man. Like, give me something next week or something, I want something, I really, really do. Just, I'm starving right now in terms of City content. I don't know if you saw my post earlier. Man City, please make some moves. We are doing absolutely naff all, Now, we did get a little bit of news, in fairness, with James McAtee is visiting Borussia Dortmund as well as Frankfurt in the coming days. Forest remain poised to make an offer, but are reluctant to go above 25 million plus add-ons, and want McAtee regardless of whether Gibbs White leaves or not. For me, I'm hearing Rodrigo, Ekitike, Isaac to Liverpool. I'm hearing Eze, Rodrigo, and Eze, Rodrigo, Gyökeres to Arsenal. While at Man City, it's completely quiet, bro. And I'm hearing now, bro, what are we doing? Again, I wish I knew. We all it seems like it's not just the players and whatnot that are on holiday here, man. It seems like the whole board. But yeah, I get what you're saying, man. Such a strong start to this summer. Players we needed. Shirky, player we needed. Reinders was the player we needed. Right now, really not a player we needed as much, but I still think we needed a left back. So, a player we needed to some level. Get the right back, get the goalkeeper, move on the right players. You could have a top window, but not without those two. We need at least the right back. At least the right back. Minimum. Oh, apologies. But yeah, look, Arsenal are strengthening big time, as are Liverpool. They are looking like forces of nature. Have a quick look through it. Again, Liverpool, they are going all out this summer. 120 million on the table for Newcastle to think about. And Newcastle really hit with an ultimatum here. It's either they sell Isaac, cash in now, whilst the money is high, 120 million, an insane amount to bring into the club. That is instantly Ekitike paid for, and they wanted to go for Ekitike anyway, by the way. I don't think whether Ekitike comes in or not is actually affecting whether they go in for him or not. It's either Newcastle want him regardless. Okay, so they're working on that right now. And no doubt they're going to double down. I think Newcastle are probably going to try stall Liverpool a little bit and try and get Ekitike done. Try get this done so they can't hijack it or whatnot. And then be like, all right, Ekitike's our player now. He's not joining you. The board doesn't have the right to have a day off. We need players this summer, bro. I don't want to have the same season like we did last season. Agreed, The board needs to get moving, man. The players deserve the break. Well, not deserve it in terms of their performance last season, but they need it just due to the exhaustion that they get given. But the players need the break. The board, man, make the phone calls, bro. And I ain't talking making the phone calls to EasyJet and wondering when your next flight is. Okay, unless it's a flight to go negotiate with a club, I don't want to hear it. I want you negotiating with teams over the phones, over the emails. Get it done. Find you guys. Get your scouts to work in double time, man. We need to look. It's no doubt a difficult summer. I don't doubt that. But we are Man City Football Club. What's difficult for most clubs should be easy for us. We need to be proactive here. Look at Liverpool. Isaac, most on-form striker in the world, arguably, right now. He's up there with Gyökeres. But the midfielder of the summer signed 2 top fullbacks, okay, that everyone liked the look of. They're all S+ signings from Liverpool. And look, Arsenal, Madueke, I know, it's a bit of a weird one. Gyökeres, though, it can't be denied. We're getting him for about 85 million, or however much it's going to be. It looks like an absolute banging deal. Madueke, I know it's 50 million, but hey, if they can save him, then fair play. But Madueke for 50, Eze coming in, Mosquera, they've just had the here we go on Norgard, who I don't actually think is that bad, by the way. I actually think he's solid. You know, they're making moves. I think they're making smart signings apart from the Madueke one. I can't explain that. Edison's completely done out there. We don't even have a good goalkeeper except for Ortega. I'm not too keen on either, to be honest. Like Edison, I think he's just not washed, but he's fallen off a bit, and we just need to move on, find the next best thing. For me, in terms of goalkeepers, it's either you go for Donnarumma now, yeah? It's either you go for Donnarumma, who's got 1 year left on his deal, or you go for Chevalier, or you somehow find someone better. You go for one of them. You got to. Ortega, he can continue being backup, but there's no way he becomes first choice. No way. I will not live in a world where that happens. In terms of other news, I'm not going to try and spoil myself too much. Yeah, nothing much. Yeah, this is the latest thing. Colasore joining the club. Yeah, Torre's brother. Let's get Donnarumma Chevalier, bro. What are we waiting for Christmas? The board is sleeping. I know, man. I 100% agree with you, man. They need to wake up. They absolutely need to wake up. I don't know what's got to wake them up, but someone's got to get in that room with about 4 buckets of water, or however many you need, 1 for each member, and just splash them, man. You've got to get them awake. You know, get them on overdrive, because if we don't get these players, someone else might. Is the thing. You know, Chevalier. He's been linked with Villa. You know, we're not the only team in the world that somewhat likes the look of him. And even Diogo Costa. I think if we're going to get anyone, it could potentially be him. I don't necessarily want that. But Diogo Costa, is he going to wait forever? You know, what if another club comes in for him? And Donnarumma. You know, personally, I think Donnarumma is going to end up at Real Madrid. I think Real Madrid are going to wait for giving Donnarumma that phone call and being like, yo, run your contract down. We'll get you next summer on a free, and you'll become our first choice keeper. Thibaut Courtois picking up injuries a little bit. So, yeah, we're looking to bring you in. You know, Courtois, he is 33, which, to be fair, I know, isn't too bad in terms of goalkeeper age, but I mainly say it due to injuries, to be fair, with Thibaut Courtois. He has started picking up a little bit more injuries. Same story with Edison. You know, last season, Courtois picked up 4 injuries, missed 13 matches. Season before, he was out for the whole season. That's just rough, to be fair. And, you know, if Courtois has another season like that, then Real Madrid probably will start looking at someone that's not going to get as injured for them. Do you know what we missed out on Nunes back in 2021? Because Mendes, even not Nunes. Because Diki thought he was too expensive, 50 million. Ha ha ha! It's embarrassing. Yeah, I mean, Nuno Mendes now one of the most on form left backs in the world. They did just get cooked by Chelsea. Look, I'm not really bothered about that anymore because we've got Aït-Nouri, and I'm happy with Aït-Nouri as of right now. I think he looks solid. But it's more if you brought up an area in like right back position, like even Hakimi. Remember, PSG got Hakimi on a free. No, they didn't. But they spent like 65 million on him. They got Hakimi. Donnarumma, they got him on a free. PSG, man, I'm taking all the players I like the look of. We need to be better. We need these players, and they're going to get away from us, okay? And then in a year, we'll be like, oh man, if only we ended up actually showing some follow through and getting them, okay, instead of getting roasted by that player that we like the look of. Because that's what's going to end up happening. By the way, on McAtee, I think we should be looking for 40 million, so yeah, there's no way we accept 25. I think you've got to look at the Cole Palmer fee. I think for McAtee, I think that's probably where we value him. I did hear something like that as well. So you've got to be looking at like 40 million quid, I think, for this guy. So yeah, Forest aren't willing to go above 25 million quid. That is bonkers. Same Gibbs White for 100 million. But yeah, 25 million, way too low for me. If they want to go 40 million in add-ons, maybe, but they better be some easy add-ons. And I don't want to sell on clause one way or the other as well. But look, that's really everything I got for you. I don't really know what more to say. It's just been so dead. We need to sign players though. That is without a doubt. We are moving slower than a turtle on its back at the moment, and we need someone to turn us over. We need to get moving because other players are running like cheaters. But look, big ups to you all tuned in. Red Camp consistently in this stream, commenting. And big ups to everyone who's tuned in silently as well. Appreciate you just as much too. If you haven't already, make sure to like the stream. Make sure to subscribe on top of that as well. And you know what? I'll try and get a redirect going. Probs won't be much, but something's better than nothing. Who we got going live? We got Alf. So Alf. Actually, I go to Alf a lot. This time I won't because I saw that they're not in my Lifetime podcast are. So let's go to them. Go check out Alf anyway. Alf's goated, and go check out the Not in My Lifetime as well. Also goated. So make sure to go tune in there, guys. But anyways, big ups to everyone who tuned in. I appreciate the support as per usual, and I'll see you all hopefully tomorrow with some big news, maybe. But yeah, I'll see you all tomorrow, Blues. See ya.